Hello and welcome to a new episode of Bring It Up. It's me, Chiara.
And me, Sara. Welcome back. How are you guys?
What about today, Sara? What's our plan for today?
So today is just you and me, Chiara, and I think we're going to have like an very interesting chat about social media. What do you think?
Seems pretty interesting, especially if I think about the fact that you arrived here and within the tasks you could ask and the team you could be part of, you chose to be part of the social media team.
Yeah, because Balkan Hotspot is a communication and media project. And yeah, I really love social media. So now I'm a social media manager. Kind of an expert, let's say.
This seems pretty cool, especially because I'm not so into social media and I think I can learn a lot through your experience.
I'm very into social media on the other hand. So yeah, we have like kind of opposite point of view on social media, I guess. So it's going to be a very nice talk about that. So you said that you're not very into social media, right? But what are the social media that you use?
If I think about it, the first social account I created, it was on Facebook back in 2010, probably. And yeah, it was another Facebook.
Ages ago.
Yeah. And what about you?
Well, I think the first social media I have ever used was Netlog. I don't know if it was very popular in Europe or in the world in general, but in Italy it was, especially for teenagers. I think I was like 14 or something. I was in high school, and I remember that you could just like upload photos and that's it. I don't remember anything else, but you could like personalize your profile with all the drawings and graphics, and mine, it was like totally pink. I don't know. I don't even know why, because I hate the color pink, but it was all pink with like stars and hearts, stuff like that. Very, very girly type of style. But yeah, that was my first one. And then when I felt like I was like a little bit grown up, I decided to open my account on Facebook. And for me, Facebook, it was like the adult grown-up social media, because for example, my sister that is older than me and all her friends that I know from my town were on Facebook, and for me it was like, oh my god, I'm an adult now because I have a Facebook account. But all I did on my Facebook account was taking quizzes on Facebook, like tell me what color do you like, and I'm going to tell you your personality or stuff like that. Did you used to do them?
I remember.
Yeah, they were so fun. So yeah, but it was a completely different Facebook from the one we are using now. And I think back then I didn't have like even the idea of what Facebook was and what I could do with it. So yeah, it was just fun. Just more for like the game part of the social media that right now like kinda doesn't exist anymore, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well. I was thinking that probably Facebook has been existing for so many years, thanks to the fact that time after time it kind of evolves, includes so many new features, and so people never get bored. Well, it's super stressful, I think, to think always forward and foresee what people might like. But if you think about it right now, you can use it to make contacts for work. You can use it to date people.
Yeah, also, yeah, Facebook dating is like, oh my God, like a revolution, really, right now. Because, yeah, and also I don't think there was all the features we have now that at first people don't really like all the new features or the new tools, like the stories, or the fact that you can use Facebook also for video chatting, or do meetings and stuff like that. But now it really evolved into a very complete social media. You can do basically everything on Facebook. It's fascinating. And what about Instagram? Do you like Instagram?
To be honest, I have an account. I uploaded maybe 5 or 6 pictures in a years. So I can't say that I'm not very fan of, but something tells me that this is not what you think about Instagram.
Yeah, I love Instagram. Instagram is my favorite social media ever. So if you see me with my phone in my hands, probably I'm on Instagram. But the thing is with Instagram for me is that I upload a lot of pictures, but I don't use it as a content creator, let's say. I prefer to use it to check out what other people post on it. And I really love the fact that Instagram is based on pictures. So what you can really appreciate is just how people are, like how beautiful the pictures that other people put on it. It's very nice.
Yeah, there are so many beautiful pictures on Instagram. I have to say that.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. So for Balkan Hotspot, we have our Facebook page and our Instagram account. So if you want to follow us, it's Balkan Hotspot. Look for us on social media. And also, like the newest addition to our social media family is TikTok. And at first I was very skeptical about TikTok because I saw it like spread so much during the lockdown, the first lockdown we had. And I don't know, I felt like it was kind of very younger type of social media for younger people. But really, I saw that many adults even were using it because during the lockdown they were super bored, and on TikTok, really all you can do is uploading videos, and it's kinda limited, let's say, because all you can do is just that, just videos, not pictures or nothing else. But it's very fun, that's for sure. So for now, because we are in another lockdown here in Greece, I thought that maybe having a TikTok account for us volunteers, it was like a good thing for the project because it's content we create, but also it's very fun to do it here at home, and it's just another way to pass time because we can go out. So it's a nice idea, I guess.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been your first actors, so yes, I see the goods in it. And it's also a funny way to share once again something like moods, because you see the TikTok someone else created and it fits so good. So it fits so much your the same feelings you're experiencing in that moment. And so what you do is creating the same version of the same TikTok, but it's more personal, it's more around you.
Yeah, it's true. And I think right now, as we are facing difficult times, it also helps to facing it with irony also.
So we said that social media bring us all together when because we share feelings, we share emotion. It's also a cheap way to keep yourself in contact with your family, for instance, when you are far away, especially in during celebrations, you know. Like now we are going to face Christmas, but we staying here in Greece and our families are back in Italy. So I guess uploading pictures or making videos or just video calling them, it's our way to be together in this moment.
Yeah, it's true. It's totally true. Because in some way, when you upload pictures of things you are doing or places you are going to or wherever, like our relatives, our families that are not here with us, can in some way participate to our experience, and it's very very nice. I remember when I was in Nicaragua last year, and I was then for a whole year, so I didn't see my family for a lot of time. It was very nice to, and we had 8 hours different from Italy and Nicaragua, and it was very nice when I uploaded all the pictures of the places I've been. And they could see them. I mean, I couldn't, for example, send them the pictures because they were like sleeping, for example, because of the time difference. But they could see them when they woke up, and they wrote me like, "Oh wow, what a nice place! You've been to the beach. What about your day? It was amazing. What did you do?" Stuff like that. And yeah, it was another way to keep in contact with them, and also not only through Facebook and Instagram, but for example, other kind of social media, let's say, or apps that can be considered in some way social media, for example, WhatsApp or Telegram or stuff like that. They were so useful for me because the only way I could have to call them and see them in video was through WhatsApp or Skype also, for example. So in some way, yes, also this application, I think, can be considered social media in some way, even if like originally the idea behind them is not for them being social medias, but they absolutely help keeping people in touch. What do you think?
Yes, I agree. I agree because it happened the same to me with when I was in Brazil with my family being in Italy, and once again there was a lot of time difference. So the only way was exactly this one, to send a message because you know that the other person is going to read it soon, but yet if you're not in the same time zone, probably the other person is sleeping. And I think that a good mix can between the so-called social media and instant messaging, it can be considered Telegram, because on Telegram you can also create groups, shared groups, where you kind of upload media related to a specific topic. So for instance, I don't know, you like literature, you decide to join the group and then participate with your own expertise or to receive only informations. But still, it's an instant messaging application.
Yeah, it's totally true. And what about work? I mean, we mentioned Facebook, we mentioned Instagram and all the instant messaging apps, but also another, like, we've forgotten, I think, social media, but that I think is very useful is LinkedIn. And you recently created your account, right, Chiara?
I did.
So what do you think about LinkedIn?
Well, LinkedIn can be considered pretty useful. As you said, I recently created it, but I still did not investigate it properly. And at the same time, I would like to share with you the way I reached this place in Balkan hotspot, this volunteering experience, because as a matter of fact, I saw advertised the page on the advertisement that appear on your home, but on Facebook. So it was a moment when I decided, okay, I don't need Facebook anymore, because the only reason I was using it was to get fast information on exams I was taking at university. So all groups that were sharing my same courses, I was joining them. So once university was over, I was already ready to delete my account. But then I noticed that those advertisements, even though I said to Facebook, no, don't track my my preferences, just if you have to show me ads, show me whatever. And instead, at least 3 of my job applications came from the fact that I was informed by Facebook of those opportunities. And one of those was exactly the European Solidarity Corps page. And from it, I found out about these kind of projects here in Greece.
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating in a way, but also worrying because you can see how social media, and Facebook or whichever social media, even if you don't want them to track your preferences in the internet, they still do, because there's this algorithm that basically registered all your research on Facebook. What kind of pages do you like? What are the people that you interact the most and stuff like that? And they show you like personalized advertisement, and in a way it's useful because you don't see anything that doesn't interest you, so it's okay. But on the other hand, it makes you reflect on how important are the information and the data that you put out there, basically.
Absolutely.
Because, for example, if I upload a picture and I geolocalize myself in a bakery or in a restaurant or whatever, Facebook is going to know that I went there and probably I like that kind of restaurant, for example, and then it's going to show me a similar restaurant. So something so easy like geolocalize yourself, it takes 2 seconds to do it, and it gives Facebook a lot of data for marketing and advertisement, and it's kind of scary also.
I noticed the same thing with news, and this scared me a lot. And the first word that came to my mind was radicalization, because specifically in election times, but as a matter of fact, I think that it can happen at any moment. When you start reading some new online news on Facebook, so maybe you just clicked on like for the press for
page.
Yes, for the press page you prefer. They were from that moment on, I was seeing on my home so many articles, more than I used to, published from that page, and also comments of people that shared my same point of view. So everything that was outside from it, it wasn't considered in my spectrum. And this, at some point, I thought that it could bring me to think that all the world thought the same way, or that people that were not thinking the same way I did were absolutely wrong. And this leads to polarization, because at another moment, I started, for some reason, I don't know what's the logic behind it, but I even started reading instead news related to the opposite party, the direct opposite party. And I was thinking, like, how can you even believe in these kind of social and political opinions? And this, to me, is so dangerous.
Yeah, it's true. Absolutely true. And also, not only with politics, but in general, it makes you think that there's nothing else different from what you think and what you like. So it makes you as you said, like radicalized in your idea, and that it doesn't let you see the point of view of other people on whichever topic. And yeah, it's very, very dangerous. I completely agree with you. So we were talking about how social media can bring positive things in our life. For example, you were mentioning that you found this volunteering experience on Facebook, and also you can use LinkedIn as social media for job searching, and it's very useful. And also you were mentioning news, how social media can be a source of news from the world. And for example, Twitter can be very useful for that because I think is mainly used, or I mainly use it for reading news from all over the world. And Instagram can be a very useful tool for example, content creators that have this creative vein in order for them to share what they do and what they like. And also small businesses, for example, use Instagram a lot in order to advertise their products or their services also. So I think that there are many positive things about social media, but as everything in the world, there is a positive side and a negative side. So what do you think that are the main negative things that social media can bring us?
Next to polarization of opinion, as I already mentioned, well, probably the biggest trouble that social media can provoke is the spreading of fake news. Is something that we saw during the past elections in the United States of America. And it's something that we also saw with the referendum, the Brexit. And it's something that we are used to in Italy as well, the spreading of those news. And what scares me the most is the fact that it's so easy for people to believe them just because that there's behind the so-called deep fake. Probably we are still not able to benefit from critical thinking in order to understand that it cannot be true because it seems too much true.
Yeah, and just because something is published on Facebook, it doesn't mean that it's true or is relatable. No, reliable. It's reliable. So, and I also saw it during the first lockdown with the pandemic. Like so many fake news about the coronavirus were out there on social media, like how to treat it, how you can catch coronavirus and stuff like that. And it's very, very dangerous.
And which are the other things that you can think about when looking at how social media can be a dangerous place, Sarah?
I think it's cyberbullying. Cyberbullying it can be a risk when using social media because you are on the other side of a screen and you're not like interacting personally in person with the other people. So it's very easy to slip into hate speech when you are online. What do you think?
Yes, totally. And the more I think about cyberbullying, now that you're speaking about it, the more it comes to my mind the idea of revenge porn, which is the other face of cyberbullying, because usually you associate cyberbullying with adolescents, but there's also like the adult version.
And it's illegal, of course. I mean, cyberbullying in general, of course, is, I think there's a convention, a European convention on cyberbullying. Yes. And I think also that is the only one in the world that punish cyberbullying. So we're good with that. But yeah, I think revenge porn is one of the worst faces of cyberbullying. It's disgusting. And what else do you think can be bad about social media?
For sure, the policy about data protection, because is something, once again, is something so new that if to take back the thing you said about doing those tests on the first version of Facebook, how many personal information we shared at that time. And at that time, the idea of data protection was nobody spoke about it because we did not see how related to our personal identity they were. Maybe about those tests, I can say that it happened because we were used to do tests on a paper-based version on magazines. So maybe we thought that there's the same thing going on. Instead, when you put something on the internet, it stays there forever. And if it's not protected enough, it's going to backfire you. And even though we now that things have changed, and also Europe has implemented different laws trying to protect our data, but when we have a page that says, okay, are you fine with the fact that I'm going to take the cookies from the things you're doing from on our site, we're like saying, yeah, okay, just let me read this page. I don't care about anything else. And instead we are gifting those biscuits, those cookies, to who knows.
Yeah, it's true. And also, when you were mentioning the fact that when you put something on the internet, it stays there forever and you don't know where it ends up, basically. I was thinking about the fact that when you put, for example, a picture, when you upload a picture on whichever social media, people can download it. And they can steal your identity also. How many catfish cases we had? I know some. And it's very dangerous that just because people have access to pictures of you, they can download them and they can create fake accounts with your identity and do God knows what with your identity. And yeah, it's very, very dangerous.
I agree with that. Well said, Sarah.
Yeah. And another thing that can be considered very bad about social media is how addicting it is. It's like a drug, I guess, because I also see myself like addicted to it sometimes, because especially nowadays that we can go out whenever we want and do whatever we want. I found myself with my phone in my hands mostly all day, just checking what's happening online. And I think, oh yeah, let me grab my phone and just look at it look at Instagram for a couple of minutes to see what's happening and what my friends are doing and stuff like that. And then I end up like half an hour on with my phone in my hands, scrolling Instagram pictures. And I mean, time passes by so fast, and it's a totally waste of time sometimes. We forget about the real world that surrounds us, and you just are so into this imaginary online virtual world that can be very isolating and alienating sometimes, I guess. But you don't use social media so much, so you have another point of view, basically.
To be honest, I must agree with you on this, because yes, personally, I do not use them so much, but I remember that in dark times, when I didn't want to sit down and think about the problem I was facing, I was I was scrolling the Facebook page, Facebook home, constantly, exactly because this thing was something that kept me active. I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't just like wandering. I was active, but at the same time, so I had something to do and I could prioritize it. And at the same time, I didn't have to think of my problems. But at one point, I realized that they were not going away just because I wasn't paying attention to them. They were staying there. They were putting a lot of pressure on me. And at the same time, I was, as you said, wasting my time. At the same time, I can tell you that what I like is, once again, the fact that on Facebook you can reach so many corners of the world. If you go to the section of videos, you can find reportage from several countries. And this is something I appreciate a lot, the fact that you can broaden your horizons just because someone else had the possibility to do those investigations, those research, and then like spread them on Facebook. I don't know how true is it, but I remember that I read somewhere that the original idea that stood behind the creation of Facebook was the one of creating a common space where you and your knowledge could be useful to whoever whoever is reached by your knowledge. And sometimes I still believe in it. Some other times, because of all the things we said, probably like we cannot say that. Yeah, I guess so. I guess this is the word you can use. And also, there was something I wanted to share with you. The so-called effect Netflix. I like so much it because, okay, Netflix is not a social media. Netflix is a platform, yes, and it's virtual platform, yes, but it's for sharing movies. And I read it in relation to a book that recently came up. I guess it's called The Dominoes Queen.
Can be, I don't know the name in English.
Either do I. Well, let's say it in Italian, La Regina degli Scacchi. And the fact that they made a movie based on this book that was published like 30 plus years ago, finally this book became a bestseller thanks to the fact that it was shared on that the movie was created. It was shared on Netflix, that now polarizes the movie industry, and then people started speaking about it and started publishing maybe like quotes on social medias, and in the end the book itself became a bestseller. This thing surprises me a lot.
Yeah, it's true. It can happen that something goes viral on social media. But also the thing is that many times, probably this movie is very nice and also the book is very nice. But when things go viral on social media is mainly just because people see that other people share this topic or this thing, this content on social media, and they share it, reshare it, let's say, but they don't even pay attention to the content itself. It's just because other people are sharing it, so I'm going to share it too, without paying attention to the content itself. And this, as we were speaking before about fake news, is another thing, because many times people share content on social media without investigating more on it, just because they see the title that it's probably clickbaiting, for example, and they see many users sharing this news or whatever online, and they share it too just because it has a big title, but they don't even know what's inside inside the post they are sharing, you know.
And they are also commenting only based on the title.
Yeah, can be so superficial, let's say. Talking about fake news and fake in general, do you think that social media can promote a fake reality among people?
For sure.
Yeah. For example, we're thinking about Instagram and how all these beautiful pictures that you see can tell you and send you like a specific message, like, look how beautiful is my life. Look how perfect my life is. How beautiful are my clothes? This is my house or whatever. And this can be very disturbing and dangerous for people because in a way you can see only the positive side of the life of the person that is sharing content on Instagram. And you think that their life is really perfect, there's nothing wrong, and they are happy all the time, but it's really not the case. And you compare yourself with them, to them. You compare yourself to them, and you start, and you stop appreciate what you have because you want to have what they have. What do you think?
I agree. I totally agree. And it's also very dangerous if not only you do not have like a good understanding of the fact that life is balanced between bad and good things happening, but is specifically related to younger generations, because they grow up with the two worlds, the real world and the virtual world. And if no one is there explaining them that not everything that they see through a screen is real, they might grow up with an uncommon understanding of where reality stands. So yeah, I guess it would be very important for adults surrounding those new generations, those youngsters, to spend some time with them and trying to make them understand what is virtual reality.
Yeah, it's totally true. And also, I think one of the main risks for new generation, especially for like teenagers that are like discovering themselves during adolescence, is the fact that social media promotes fake kind of representation of the body. For example, you have filters. And what do you think about filters? Do you like them? No, you never used them.
How to use them?
Well, there's like a very broad spectrum of filters that you can use on social media, especially like on Instagram, I guess, because it's the place where you upload pictures. So there are many kind of filters, but I think on Instagram now it's not so bad, because the kind of filters they have, they not alterate the shape of your body. But for example, with Snapchat, that was very popular a couple of years ago, I guess, Snapchat was complete hell, because they were like these filters that could like slim your face or the shape of your body in order to have big breasts or bigger waist, not waist, like bigger hips, yeah, let's say, to make it to keep it like family friendly. And slimmer your waist and your legs to look taller and stuff like that. And this can be so dangerous for self-confidence, especially in teenagers, because they are discovering themselves and their bodies. And with filters on social media, they can create in their mind this complete fake and different idea of their body. And I think when you are so used to use filters in your photos, in your pictures, at the end you don't even recognize yourself, because it's so different from who you really are. Then you start that you stop appreciating your own features, your natural features. And yeah, that's so dangerous, so mental.
Yes, this is so true, Sarah. I think that we are learning through what we are facing with social media, and I hope that soon enough we will come up with new solutions, as we did with magazines that later on decided to apply some tags explaining that the picture passed through Photoshop or anyways was modified. Maybe there was once again some sort of filter to make the skin look brighter and flawless. And as we did with paper-based magazines, I hope that we will find solution for it. Now that I think about it, for instance, one in the past, Instagram showed you how many likes the picture received, how many hearts. And after all, once they found out that this was so addicting, I saw it like a bright idea to remove the fact, and only the owner of the picture can see how many hearts the picture received.
Yeah, it's totally true, because people sometimes are obsessed with the number of likes their picture has, and like you consider yourself worthy just if your picture has, I don't know, 100, 200, 1,000 likes. And based on that, you base your worth on a number. And it's, I don't know, it's so It's so wrong. It sounds so wrong. And also, you were mentioning magazines and how, for example, in magazines, models are probably photoshopped in order for them to look even more beautiful. And the thing is that with social media and filters, you don't have to be an expert on photoshopping. Like, you don't have to be like a graphic designer or whatever, and you don't have to be able to use such complicated tools as Photoshop in order to achieve the same result. It's available to everybody. So I think we discussed very deeply into the social media topic, and for sure we saw that social media can bring us very good and positive things and can be very useful, a very useful tool, but also it has like its dark side, as everything in the world. So yeah, do you have something else to add, Chiara, about this?
I will semi-quote the advertisement and say, use social media responsibly, folks.
Yeah, it's totally true. Be aware of how you use social media and use it responsibly. That's for sure. So thank you, everybody, for being with us today. It was a very nice chat, Chiara. Thank you very much for chat with me about this. And I think we're going to see you next time, right?
Yeah, Sarah, I would like to thank you too, because there are so many insights that you brought into the discussion. I think that from our couch is all. So, bye.